I don't weigh the chicken, I'll cook the chicken.
The key technique for this recipe is spatchcocking your chicken. And if you haven't heard of that before, it simply means we're going to open the chicken up and flatten it out. That'll make things cook quicker and get more skin exposed to the heat, which means more crispy skin. Beautiful. All right, let's get going on the chicken first of all. So just want to grab the chicken and place it actually breast side down on your work surface. And then get yourself some sturdy scissors. They don't have to be special poultry scissors or anything, just some, some good sturdy scissors, and then cut down each side of the backbone. So this backbone piece, you can pop that in the freezer and save it for next time you're making a chicken stock. We don't need it for this recipe. Now what we need to do is we've got our chicken here. We want to flip him back over. Spread those legs out so that we've got as much skin exposed upwards as possible. And then you want to get down here on the breastplate and really push down to flatten that chicken out. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Very simple. Now let's get our chicken into a bowl and let's do our marinade. So first up, I want some lemongrass. Of course, to me, lemongrass is one of those really typical, beautiful Vietnamese flavors, and it's a star player in our marinade. So what you need to do is just put it down here, and you just want to bruise that stem first of all, and then slice off the end, and you just want to peel off these outer layers. They tend to be quite tough and hard. Just take that edge off, and then finally slice. Now pop that into your mortar. Now I want some coriander in here as well, and I'm going to be using the root end of the coriander. You guys who've been watching my channel for a while would know that I use this part of the coriander a lot. It has a lot of flavor, and also the added benefit that I think even if you're someone that doesn't like coriander, when you're using just the root part in this kind of marinade, you'll find that at the end you don't actually really taste the coriander flavor itself. So just in case anyone who doesn't like coriander wants to give it a go, look, if you don't like coriander, just leave it out. All right, so that goes in, and then I want some garlic here as well. And are you just looking for kind of like a rough paste here? All right, so this is the kind of scenario we're aiming for here. It's not even a paste, it's more like it's been kind of bruised and roughly chopped, I guess. Okay, so these next ingredients are all about giving us like a super amount of flavor and seasoning and saltiness so that we don't have to leave our chicken to marinate for very long, because you know what, I've never organized enough for an overnight marinade. I want something to happen quickly. Okay, let's go in first of all with our fish sauce, and then some soy sauce. And then this little ingredient here, kind of optional, so if you don't have it, don't worry about it, but it's a dark sweet soy sauce. And this one is gonna give us a beautiful, like, deep, dark golden color. It's more about color than flavor, this one. And then some brown sugar. This is gonna help to get everything all caramelized and colorful as well. All right, look at that. Now, it smells amazing here, guys. I wish you could smell it here with me. And the flavor, I mean, you have this beautiful lemongrass, garlicky flavor, and then you hit with like those punchy, salty notes and a slight little bit of sweetness. Ah, perfect. All right, let's get that out onto our chicken. Okay, the only way to do this properly is with your hands. So get in there and mix everything. Try and get that marinade into every little nook and cranny here. And then what I like to do is just rest the chicken skin side down in the marinade for like 10 minutes. It's not too long. So when you're ready to roast, grab your chicken out and flip him over, because we want to put him skin side up, and then onto a tray. I've got foil underneath here. I've got a baking rack. I'm putting the chicken on top. Now that's going to make sure that we've got like some good air circulating all around the chicken. Also helps to cook things more evenly. Now we want to get some of our marinade, pour that on top. All right, now this guy just needs 40 minutes in the oven, which is so much less than when you need to cook a whole chicken. And the idea with that is that we have this slightly sweet marinade, and if you had to cook this for a long time, that marinade runs the risk of burning. So this way we can use a sweet marinade, and also on the burning, I'm gonna put a little bit of water into the bottom of the tray here, and that's just to stop that excess marinade that drips down from burning too much and making that kind of smoky smell. All right, into the oven. While my chicken's in the oven, I'm going to be making a Vietnamese nuoc cham. It's like a dressing or a dipping sauce, and I always make more than I need because it keeps in the fridge for up to a week and you can dip all sorts of things in it, spring rolls, or use it as a salad dressing for noodles. It's very versatile. So to get going on it, we just need some garlic and some very finely chopped mild chili. And then I want some fish sauce, some white vinegar, sugar, and a really good squeeze of lime juice. Now just give that a mix, and you want to let it sit around for a good 10 or 15 minutes before you use it, and that will allow that sugar to dissolve. All right, so chicken is smelling amazing. Oh, I just love the look of that as well. So beautiful and golden, all that lovely skin. Okay, time to slice and dice, and just want to get your chicken out onto a board. And then I always start with the legs. So open these up and slice through, and then cut the drumsticks and the thigh. It goes onto my plate. And then just slice that breast off the bone into chunks. And then I like to finish this off with some cucumber as well. I like the kind of cooling freshness that adds. And there you go, guys, a Vietnamese style take on roast chicken. And spatchcocking, it means we did it even faster than usual. And that, my friends, is one beautifully smelling dish. Let's get in there though and see how it tastes. I want some chicken and dip it in that lovely sauce. That flavor is so insane. You get the amazing soy sauce and the lemongrass, and then that really lovely hit of the garlic and chili and that sweet tangy sauce. So good, yum. The first thing we need to do is get a marinade going for our chicken. And I'm going to start off with some lemongrass. And what we want to do here is take that end off, and we want to get rid of the outer sort of really hard, tough parts of the lemongrass. So give that a good bash with the bottom of your knife. So they're kind of like firm and chewy, so we don't really want those in our marinade. Just slice that up finely. All right, next up, coriander roots. You'll find this a lot in Thai cooking. We use a lot of the coriander root. It has a really great flavor. And I know a lot of you don't like coriander, and that's perfectly fine, so just leave it out. Okay, so next up is garlic. I want quite a bit of garlic. Bruise and take those skins off. Just roughly chop those. Okay, now we just want to make a little rough paste here. So that's looking pretty good, and it smells amazing already. Now I want some white pepper and some fish sauce and some sugar. Now traditionally you would use palm sugar for this, but I find outside of Thailand the palm sugar can be really hard, which means trying to mix it into a marinade like this without heating doesn't work out so well. So I'm using brown sugar, and that's easy for you guys to find. And a little bit of dark soy, which is going to give us a really beautiful, lovely dark color. Okay, and that is looking lovely. And tasting lovely as well. It's salty, garlicky, peppery, yum, just perfect. Okay, now I'm going to spatchcock this chicken because that's going to make it cook quicker and more evenly in the oven. So to do that, just flip your chicken over and then just use some scissors to cut through the side of the backbone and then the other side. We want to remove that backbone and the neck. And then flip your chicken over again and then press down firmly on the breast, just enough to flatten that chicken out. Okay, chicken is now ready for our marinade. Put that onto a tray lined with foil. Definitely want the foil for this one, guys, because the marinade will get quite sticky, and who loves to do washing up? No one. Okay, so I will put our marinade onto the chicken. Now, if you're super organized, and I often am not, but if you are, then I would marinate your chicken overnight, and then you'll get a much stronger flavor. But you know what? Just putting it straight on into the oven is fine as well. And now just use your hands to massage that marinade into the chicken. So traditionally this would be grilled over charcoal, and if you guys have a charcoal barbecue at home, that would be the perfect way to cook this. But for an easier way, we're going to do this in the oven, and in 2 steps. Foil first, and that's actually going to help to cook the chicken through before we start to get all the charriness on the outside. So we want 25 minutes under foil in the oven. Now we're going to make a very traditional sauce for our chicken. It's nam jim dao. So first of all, we want to make a roasted rice powder, and we're going to use some uncooked sticky rice or glutinous rice. So in your Asian section of your supermarket, look for glutinous rice or sticky rice. And we're just going to toast that until it's really fragrant and lovely and lightly golden. Now you know you're getting close when it starts to smell like popcorn. That's the fragrance we're looking for. Colour is beautiful. And just use this pestle to grind it to a fine powder. Now for the rest of the sauce, we want some fish sauce, some tamarind. This sauce should be very spicy and sour. They're the sort of flavours we're going for. But we do want a little bit of sugar to balance out that sourness. So I'm going to add some brown sugar. And we want some lime juice as well. Okay, now for that toasted rice and some chili powder. So again, this is supposed to be a fairly spicy sauce. So I'm going to put in a lot of chili powder, but you guys can adjust that according to whatever tastes you have. Just going to mix that through. This is one of those sauces that really packs a punch. Okay, and the final little bits and pieces are just a little red shallot, and we just want to finely slice that, and then some finely sliced coriander. Okay, let's take a look at our chicken. Now at this point, this guy is only half dressed for dinner. So we are just going to use some of these cooking juices and lightly brush the outside of the skin. Now this goes into the oven for another 15 minutes. Right, so this chicken is looking amazing. Yum, so beautiful and shiny, sticky. Now just let that chicken rest for a few minutes before you slice it up. Okay, now to carve up our chicken, don't be scared guys, I'll show you an easy way to do this. So grab a hold of the whole chicken and then cut through the middle and just give your knife a bit of a tap as it's going through the bone. Any heavy knife will do, you don't need a big cleaver like I've got here. It's always more fun with a big cleaver though. And then we want to take our drumsticks off first. So just slice that knife through the joint where the drumstick meets the breast, and that should come away quite easily. Pull that off. Now because the leg is always the favorite part of my house, I'll have to divide that one in two so there's more pieces. So just through the drumstick and thigh piece, again just tap that through. Now for the chicken breast, just slice through the meat down to the bone. Again, just tap, tap through there. Okay, now I want those out on a nice serving platter for everyone to help themselves. And in Thailand, we would serve this with some sticky rice and some sompam or papaya salad as well. But you know, even just some steamed rice and that beautiful dipping sauce we've made is good as well. Alright, so there are so many different ways to roast a chicken. My way is hotter and faster. I think the hotter the heat, the crispier skin you get, and I am all about crispy skin, and also the less time that bird spends in the oven, the less chance we have of drying out some of that white breast meat. So there are all the reasons why. Let's get into the actual making. Now I'm going to do a salt and pepper flavor with mine, so a slight kind of little Asian flair. I'm going to start with some black peppercorns. And I want some white peppercorns as well. So I like the mix here of the black and the white. I think you get a really nice, I don't know, kind of milder pepper flavor from the white, and then a kind of harsher, also more spicy kind of flavor from the black. There you go. And just grind those up. Okay, so this is the kind of situation that we're after with our pepper. I want to keep it quite coarse because I really want those hits of pepper when I'm biting into my chicken. And now I'm going to add some salt. Really good flaky sea salt here is what I love, but you know, you could use kosher salt as well. Okay, so we're not going to do anything super tricky or fancy here because quite frankly, we don't have to. There are a couple of things we do need to do though. One, we need to fill the cavity. So you always want to fill the cavity of your chicken so that you don't get too much hot air cooking the chicken from the inside out. That is when you're going to get dry chicken. So I just want a lime, or a lemon would be fine as well, or an onion even. and now trussing. So you don't have to get all fancy with the trussing either. All you really want to do is pick these legs up and kind of pull them together, because you're kind of then making the whole chicken a bit more compact. Again, we're trying to make sure that things don't dry out, so if you've got some legs flapping around everywhere, then you've got more chance of things drying out. So pick the legs up and just tie them together with some string. Now make sure those wing tips are tucked underneath, just like that. All right, now we want to go in with our salt and pepper mix, and we want a lot. So I pretty much want to use the whole lot all on this chicken and really kind of rub it in there. Give that guy some love, and that is looking very good. And now you want to go in with a much higher temp than you might normally think. So usually about 180 degrees Celsius is what is recommended in recipes. We're going to go in at 250, and that is 480 in Fahrenheit. So really hot. So at this temperature, your bird is going to need 20 minutes per 500 grams, and that should work out to be perfectly cooked. All right, so you guys know me by now. Of course, what am I going to have with my chicken? It's going to be a spicy dipping sauce. So we are going with a Thai-style Nam Dim Dao sauce today. A really traditional, kind of funky, spicy sauce. So first up, we want some fish sauce. And now I want some tamarind. So tamarind is an ingredient that's really sour, and you can find it in like most Asian grocery stores or online these days. And some brown sugar. So we've got the fish sauce that's like salty, umami, a bit funky. You've got the sour tamarind, you've got the sweet brown sugar. Now we want to go in with some shallots. Okay, so this just needs to be roughly chopped. And I want some chili flakes here. As much or as little as you like, but this sauce traditionally should be like fire, like it should be really hot. So I put a fair bit in, and some coriander as well. And then finally some lime juice. And let me just see if this sauce is tasting good, because you always need to check for seasoning here. I love that. Whoa, it is spicy. It's got that really funky, like fish sauce, savory kind of kick. And then those shallots as well, really kind of all just works together. That is one beautiful spicy sauce. All right, so now we're just waiting for our chicken. Whoa, I mean, okay, come on, check out that chicken. That is really a work of art. Amazing, like that skin, that beautiful color, that crispy, salty, peppery goodness on there. Oh, truly perfection. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so let's make sure that our chicken is cooked, and I'll show you guys how we do that. Just get the chicken onto a board. And then you just want to have a look inside this leg joint part here. Just cut that open and make sure all those juices in there are running clear. If they're pink, still not done, pop them back in the oven for a few more minutes. All right, so in an ideal world, you would let your chicken rest for about 10-20 minutes. I really need to get dinner on the table at this point in time, because as those of you with toddlers would know, that you kind of get to a witching hour point of the day where the screaming doesn't stop. So I'm gonna get my chicken carved right now. All right, so I'll break this down for you guys. Really simple way to carve a chicken. First of all, we take those strings off the legs. Okay, now legs first, cut through here. And now legs and thighs are always in high demand at my place. So I try to, divide them up in as many pieces as possible. So we want to get the drumstick first. and then cut that thigh in half. That glorious chicken skin. And now we want some wings. Now you want to slice through that breast. Try to make sure you're not disturbing too much of that beautiful crispy skin. You want each piece to have a nice whisper of skin there to crunch through. And then just slice that breast. And there you go. All right, quick word about what we've got left over after we've carved our chicken. One, you have a pan full of like schmaltzy, yummy, salty chicken fat. Do not waste that. You could make a pan sauce out of it, or I like to save it and kind of toss some potatoes in there next time I'm roasting and get them all chickeny and salty and yummy. So save that. And then we have the chicken carcass. Put that in the freezer and make yourself a chicken stock at a little later date. Roasted chicken carcass always makes for great stock. All right, but let's get to our roast chicken. All I need to do now is get my spicy sauce on the side. And there you go, guys. The very best roast chicken I know how to make, and I am super excited for you guys to try this one. But let me try this first so I can tell you all about it. Now, I know that you guys know that I'm a legs and thighs girl, so that would be cheating to try that. I am gonna try the breast and tell you how well we've done with the juiciness. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm telling you, like, you know, chicken breast gets a bad rap. I promise you, if you do it just like this, it is insanely good. That is so juicy, it literally could be a piece of thigh. I mean, out of this world good, guys. So good. Let me get some spicy dipping sauce too. Now that really makes me one very happy girl. That salt and pepper chicken flavor, that really juicy breast, and then that spicy kick of flavor. Wow. Just wow. I mean, yes. So looking forward to dinner tonight.